welcome back to my channel. So today's makeup look is actually the most requested makeup look. You guys have seen something like this before that I've done, and so you guys have told me to recreate, and here it is. Golden eyelid with beautiful brown eyeshadows paired with the red lips. I think this look is just so universal. It suits everybody. Every time I've done this makeup look, I literally fall in love with myself all over again. I'm joking. But yes, this makeup looks amazing on me, and I'm sure it's gonna look amazing on all of you guys because this is very universal. And it's also perfect for Navratri, Christmas, and New Year, and all these special occasions that are coming up. Also for bridals, it's a perfect makeup look for brides as well. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing first, prepping the skin is very important. For that, I'm using my Vaseline Intense Care Cream. The reason why I'm using this because winter is already here and my skin is super dry, so this keeps my skin really hydrated, and it's good for people with problem skin because it actually says problem skin therapy. So, you know, I hope my skin has got better. I don't have a lot of dry patches in my face anymore like I always used to have during winter time, so good about that. And moving on to next is eyebrows. For that, I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in shade dark brown. Now, I do love this eyebrow pencil a lot. For the longest time, I kind of ran out of it, so I was using my other stuff, but I also like the Benefit Goof Proof, and yeah, I think that's what it's called, Benefit Goof Proof. And I also like Anastasia, their brow gel cream. I forgot. Is it called brow gel? Anyways, whatever. Now, to keep my eyebrows in place, I'm using my CoverGirl mascara. This is a brow mascara in shade Rich Brown. All the details of the product will be listed down below on the description box for you guys to have a look. Now, I'm using a Scotch tape to sort of create a guideline for me. I don't usually do this. You haven't probably seen me doing it in a long time now, but you know, whenever I'm playing with dark eyeshadow colors like black or dark brown, I like to use this as a guideline because it creates a very neat line around the eyes. If you want your eyes to look very defined and you want to be sort of free-handedly, you know, applying eyeshadows, I think it's nice to have that guideline just by the eyes because it's beautiful. Now for the base for my eyeshadow, I'm actually using NC30 concealer by MAC Cosmetics, and I'm actually using a MAC 195 brush to apply that concealer on my eyelid. Now, as you can see, I'm also applying it a little bit on the under eyes because I'm going to be dragging the eyeshadows on the outer corners and my lower part of my eyes as well. So there you go, and it's all complete. Moving on to my eyeshadow. Now for this makeup tutorial, actually I have used a couple of new products that I haven't used on my other tutorials before. One of them is actually the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. I know it's quite late. I don't usually do a lot of reviews because honestly, for me, like, I love all makeup. You know, regardless, I literally love makeup and I know how to make it work. So there's no like bad or good. As long as it's pigmented, as long as it's creamy, I love them all. So there's nothing to really talk about the eyeshadows here. It's a pretty straightforward. I have shown you what colors I'm using. For the brush that I'm using right now, it's actually my Sigma E40. This is the blending brush, the tapered blending brush. And I'm actually in love with this brush because if you can tell, it's building up the color really nicely and I just love it. So yeah, the Jaclyn Hill palette, there was a lot of controversy about on this palette. If you follow Jaclyn Hill and Morphe, there have been a whole bunch of controversies, but I'd like to stay away from this. I don't like to make comments about this because honestly, at the end of the day, it comes down to the manufacturer and them dealing with it. As a makeup artist, I love makeup, so anything is good for me. I don't mind that. Anyways, so I couldn't get a beautiful orangey shade, so I had to go back to my 350 palette by Morphe and sort of use that using my MAC 221 brush. This is one of my favorite, the MAC 221. And then moving on to the darker eyeshadow, I'm using my Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush. This brush is actually my favorite because it picks the color really nicely and helps deposit right on the outer corner of your eyes, and also helps you bring it on the lower part of your eyes as well. Now, as you can see, I'm using the Sigma E45 to dab the eyeshadows on the outer parts of my eyes, and I'm also sort of bringing it towards the inner part. And again, I'm going to be blending it away with using my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. So I'm pretty much going back and forth between the Morphe palette by Jaclyn Hill. This is the Volt eyeshadow palette, and I believe it is in the... Oh my god, I really don't know. You know what? I'll put it down on the description box for you guys to have a look which one I'm using. But yeah, I'm pretty much going back and forth. Now for my lid, I actually have used my Inglot Aqua Stick in shade Golden. So I will list down the number below on the description box for you guys to have a look. And once I'm done, I'm actually topping it up with the beautiful gold color from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Once again, this is called On Camera. And honestly, if you are doing your lid makeup, always kind of dab it. That way the fallout is very little as compared to the swiping motion. Unless you're blending, don't swipe. Especially if you have a lot of shimmery eyeshadow, try to like get the most out of it by dabbing the eyeshadow. Now for the inner part of my eyes, I'm going to be using Mikasa E230, and I'm just dabbing that light color from the 350 palette by Morphe, and I'm just putting it on the inner part of my eyes. Now, okay, another new product is the Huda Beauty foundation. Oh my god. Okay, guys, I had to tell you this. I heard a lot of people talk good about it. I have to say this, I wasn't disappointed at all. I was super happy about how this foundation glided onto my skin. The coverage is amazing, undoubtedly. Yes, it is a little expensive. I think I paid around like $65 with tax to get this foundation. I was in the shade Toffee. This is actually a perfect shade. The reason because it is warm, but it has a neutral undertone. It is actually tan with neutral undertone, not warm. There's another one, I can't remember the name, but it was a tan with warm undertone, and it was a little orangey. And this was neutral undertone, so it worked out just perfect for my skin tone because I am actually neutral, not warm. I'm neutral. So this foundation, of course you can tell, my color on my face and my neck just matched. And I think I've used Urban Decay. It almost feels like Urban Decay All Nighter foundation because that was my favorite. And now this is my favorite. I have to say this is actually my favorite. I'm shocked. I was never a big fan of Huda Beauty's Desert Dusk palette, so I thought I would be very disappointed with their foundation as well. But when I bought it, I was actually taken away because the quality of the foundation was amazing. So the products that I love that are from Huda Beauty are actually the little mini square palettes, the square palettes. I don't know what they're called, but they have like 9 shades in them. I bought literally all of them. I yet to have to buy the new ones that she just released, but so far I love their foundation and their squared Obsession palettes. Yeah, the Obsession palettes. I love all of their Obsession palettes. I've used them on my clients and my clients love them. Alrighty, for my highlighter, I'm using my Maybelline Age Rewind, and I'm just using a beauty blender to blend that into my skin. Pretty much doing my usual drill that I always do. Now to set all of that highlighted areas, I'm using my Ben Nye translucent powder. This powder does not have any flashback. It's beautiful. It absorbs. Okay, so one time I actually applied this powder on my bride, and my bride started crying in the middle of the makeup, and in my head I was like, oh my god, what if it gets messed up? But honestly, when I told my bride to like turn around and I wanted to check if her makeup is still okay or not, and whoa, I was shocked. This powder held up her makeup so nicely. Even though she was bawling her eyes out, the makeup was still intact and it did not budge or kind of drain out around the eyes area. So I was so happy about that. Anyways, after my baking is done, I'm going to dust off the powder using a big fluffy brush. This is actually by the Farmer brushes, and this is the number 101. It's so beautiful, this brush. I love it. Now I'm going to be using one more new product for today's makeup look, which is the Pop Beauty. They are the sister company of Pixie Beauty, and honestly, I am in love. The first one is called Setting 101, which I have just used underneath my eyes. This is in the shade Banana. And then for my contour, I have the Contour 101, and I'm using the darkest shade to contour my cheeks. So it's called Sculpt, and it is really helping to sculpt. Once the contouring is done, you will get to see. Now mind you, I haven't used any cream contour. I'm just straight away using my powder contour, but the contouring kit by Pop Beauty is really amazing. Like, the powder is super pigmented, and at the same time it's very easily blendable, and as you can tell, it's blending so well and giving my face that whole chisel look. Totally in love with it. Now moving on to the nose contour, I'm using Inglot FS 5FS brush. This is actually my all-time favorite brush for nose contour, and for the powder I'm using the same Sculpt powder. And just to blend it away, I'm using that same Pharma 101 brush, which is a big fluffy brush, and I'm sort of blending the edges away with it. That way it looks more like nice and natural. Now I'm using the Contour 101, another palette by Pop Beauty, which has all the shimmery shadows. Yeah, shimmery powders, not shadows, my bad. So I'm using the color called Blush, which is literally a blush, and you can tell it's beautiful color. The color is amazing. Honestly, I have to say this, I was super impressed by the quality of this makeup. It's amazing. And yeah, once I'm done, I'm going to move on to my next step, which is to spray my face with makeup setting spray. Moving on to my setting spray, for that I'm using my Maybelline makeup setting spray. And then I'm going to move on to my blush once more. I'm going to just top it up with a little bit of Orgasm from NARS. Now the reason why I'm doing it, because I wanted a little bit of that cheeky, pinky, flushy, you know, like cheeks. So that's why I wanted that. Now moving back onto my 101 contour palette by Pop Beauty, I picked up that highlighter color, and I'm just highlighting my usual thing, which is the high points of my cheeks, the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, my little bit on my forehead, and that was it. Now the reason why I like this highlighter, I have to say this, most highlighter are blinding. This highlighter, by the way, is not too overpowering. It is so subtle, and I sort of wanted it that way because my eyes are very heavy, and once you see my eyeliners are on and my lashes goes on, it's going to be very heavy already. So I wanted to keep it a little classier by putting less highlight and not super blinding ones. For my eyeliner, I'm using Inglot 77 gel eyeliner, and the brush that I'm using is actually currently one of my favorite. It's the Sigma E05 brush, which is the eyeliner brush. Honestly, a perfect brush for eyeliner. I have to say this, perfect brush. Because usually if it's too thin, I mean, it looks nice, it's thin and it glides on a lot easier. But the thing is, when you're using gel eyeliner can be a little stiff at times. So this picked up the color really nicely. Usually, a lot of people ask me, well, how do you use gel eyeliners, because it dries up so fast. Now, if your gel eyeliner gets all dried up, you can use a vitamin E oil, or you can go use what I use, which is Duraline by Inglot Cosmetics. One of my favorite mixture to mix into the eyeliner, especially gel eyeliner, because it becomes very nice. It glides on smooth, does not spread. At the same time, it dries on eyes really fast. I'm just bringing the eyeliner down on the outer part of my eyes and also to the inner part, on the lower part of my eyes as well. Now for my mascara, I'm using my Bad Girl Bang mascara by Benefit Cosmetics. This is actually one of my favorite mascaras, and I hope you guys already know this. This one, Long 4 by Inglot. Also, the other one is the Lise Wautier's mascara. These mascaras are actually my favorite. For my liquid lipstick, I'm using my MAC liquid lipstick, and it is called Dance With Me. This is a beautiful, now the reason why I applied it, when I applied it, it looked beautiful red. But once it dries, it turns a little darker than its actual shade, but I like that way because I think red color is a very tricky color. Not every red will suit your undertone. So I think you need to pick the right red color. Now sometimes I do play with color, so I tend to go for tomato red if I'm you know, living for the whole Marilyn Monroe look. But usually if I'm using a red, I always like to use the Viva Glam, which is also a beautiful maroon red, or if not, this Dance With Me, which is also one of my favorite reds out of the MAC collection. And that's it. I'm gonna quickly pop on these lashes and I'll be right back. And that's it, guys. That is the entire makeup look for today's makeup look. I hope you guys get to recreate this look, and if you guys do happen to recreate this look, please do not forget to tag me on Facebook and Instagram, and also give me a shout out. I will definitely repost your photos and give you guys a thank you shout out. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you guys did, please do not forget to like this video, comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel. Also, if you are just subscribing, I'd like to let you know that there's a bell icon on the top. Please do hit the bell icon, because a lot of times I'm creating all of these beautiful contents, but you're not getting notified of me creating those contents, so it's totally not worth it. I do want you guys to see my videos and not miss it, so please hit the notification button on my channel, so every time I post a video, you guys get notified. Now, thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time on my next video. Till then, take care.